Yes, good morning. Thursday morning, still reacting to the Hall of Fame announcement because we got Harold back for the first time in a couple days. He's been busy at night covering the Hall of Fame ceremony and the phone calls and the big program, the big reveal on Tuesday. Welcome back, man.
Thank you, man. Good to be back.
We had Yonder and Dan O'Dowd keeping the chair warm in your absence.
I saw him.
But yeah, we have a lot going on today. How about this for a guest list today? Guardians pitching coach Carl Willis.
Yes.
Whose name has been mentioned often with CC Sabathia.
One of the best pitching coaches out there. He's been in Cleveland a long time.
Kenny Lofton, Jason Kendall, and LSU head coach Jay Johnson.
All right, we had
How about
Jay.
that?
We had Jay on the draft like 3 years ago. I think he was one of the hosts on the draft with us.
Okay. Well, he was on the desk with you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
You know, he had some players lately too, man.
I'm talking Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens. We'll be talking about all those Tigers and plenty of other stuff as well today. John Heyman with us in studio.
What'd you think of your boy Billy Wagner's reaction? That was pure gold,
Amazing.
wasn't it?
Genuine, beautiful, everything that you'd think. You know, it's been said a million times, and the Hall of Famers are going to be here in the building tomorrow. We're excited to welcome the class of 2025. But the fact that he left at the top of his game to be with his family, he's a family guy. A lot of people say that. There's a lot of false hustle around that term. Oh, I want to be with my family. Well, actually, you're old and done. That's why you want to be with your family. Right. It wasn't the case with Billy.
No.
He literally just wanted to be home with his kids.
No, he was great.
Yeah, cool reaction.
You know, the cool thing, too, I thought Singer, our interview, at the end, the last question, Greg goes, who was the kid that broke your arm? And he goes, "Oh, Chip."
Yeah, we heard his name.
Yeah,
that was a good question.
Really cool.
Yeah, great coverage again. And while you were watching something else, if you missed any of it, the class of 2025 is in place because joining Dick Allen and Dave Parker, who got in the Veterans Committee vote, it's Billy Wagner. That's the aforementioned reaction. So sincere. CC Sabathia, who we all knew was going to be a first ballot guy. And Ichiro Suzuki, who just missed a unanimous first-round vote, 99+% of the ballots for Ichiro. Here it is. That's the group. And just missing Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones. We'll talk about them in a moment. But since, we haven't had your reaction and we've had a couple of days to digest this news, Harold, give us your thoughts on Ichiro, CC, and Wags.
Well, the obvious with Ichiro, which is sad to say, is the one person that didn't vote for him.
I know.
That's going to be the narrative, right?
Yeah.
But what an amazing career. And I think the one thing that you have to take into account is what he has done for a country. We've had so many players come over from Japan, and he's the first one that's been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool in itself. He kind of opened that floodgate to where we're at now, seeing so many great Japanese players.
Yeah.
So that was crowning jewel. The other thing about Ichiro, he kept playing. He probably would have been in 5 years earlier.
Right.
But he kept wanting to keep playing the game. Yeah, he still dresses in uniform, goes through the same routine every day, and practices with the Mariners.
That's amazing. It would have been at least 2 years earlier, to your point, maybe 5 years earlier. But remember, he came back, never really officially retired because he wanted to play in that game in Japan when Seattle hosted Oakland on opening day, one of the international opening days, and that was 5 years ago now. So you're right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, CC, what a career.
Right.
You look back at what moment for me stands out is Milwaukee. When he went to Milwaukee and said, "Give me the ball." The other one, Matt, was where he hit a guy because the Yankees were in a beanball, and he was $9 million away from an incentive, and he didn't care. And he drilled the hitter because he was protecting his team.
And
that's all you need to know about.
Yankees gave him the incentive anyway. I don't think it was $9 million, but it was a big amount of money.
Good amount. More than what we got, right?
That's for sure. So today at noon Eastern here on the network, we're going to have the live press conference from Cooperstown with the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Famers, and then they'll be in the building tomorrow. So it's really good stuff. Before we get to the guys that just missed, I know there's been a lot talked about here with CC Sabathia giving you a little love for a phone call that you made. And you're a humble guy. You're not going to sit here and talk about it and thump your chest about it. But I'm going to ask you about it. I want to hear your side of that story because we've heard it a lot. Let's listen to it before we get your reaction.
Was it a point in time in your career where you started seeing Cooperstown? Was it Milwaukee with the way you pitched down that stretch, or was it New York? Or when did you start to say, I may have a shot?
You know me, Harold. I never thought about Cooperstown. I never even it was never on my radar until you called me. Actually, I remember sitting in the off season 2000, and after 2017, I was so devastated the way that season ended. And sitting that off season, I was probably close to retiring. And you gave me a call and told me about all these numbers that I needed to hit, and all these guys that are in the Hall of Fame with these numbers, and it just gave me an extra boost to go out and try to hit those numbers, which was 250 wins and 3,000 strikeouts. I literally remember sitting in my bedroom and you calling me and telling me how important this would be, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful now that I'm sitting here on this couch, because without that call, I probably would have been done.
Well, that was really cool of him to say that. Here's a look at the three lefties.
Were you expecting him to go there when you asked that question?
No, when I asked that question the other night, I thought he was going to say, I got the ball in Milwaukee. I wanted the ball every day, because he pitched every third day or fourth day. It was
right.
and he was winning. I thought that's where he was going to go. I knew, because I've known him enough, and he's talked about that before, how important that call was years earlier that I made to him. But that night, on Hall of Fame night, I thought he'd say, hey, the Brewers getting the ball. Because I asked him, was there a moment? I'm a Hall of Fame moment. Went a different way.
So what percentage of current Major League pitcher do you think in a walk year, and that was CC's 08 with Milwaukee, what percentage of those guys who know they're in for a huge payday would have said, yeah, I'll take the ball with 3 days rest for a month and a half just to get this also-ran team that's never been in the postseason since '82 into the playoffs?
I don't think there's many.
It's zero for me. None of them. Nobody is going to do that in today's landscape. And I don't mean to be critical of anybody specifically. I just don't think guys are conditioned. There's not an agent out there that would allow their client to do that.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
The agents have come in more and kind of taken that away. I think guys are motivated to do it, but I think the agent would talk them out of it.
Correct.
So to speak.
For sure, I agree.
So to the main thing real quick, I want to say this with CC giving me a lot of attention for that. I did get the numbers from Will Copeland called me, and he said, hey, he's a big CC fan. He goes, if he hits 250 wins and 3,000, he's going to the Hall of Fame. And so I thought about talking about it on MLB Tonight that particular night, and then I just said, I'm just going to call him. So I'd known CC through the years. We were good enough friends. I called him and just said, hey, you got some things to keep going for.
This was back in the day. So you were back where Will used to sit back over here, scraping pizza off the wall.
Oh, yeah.
You decided to call CC instead.
I called him up instead of the pizza and just said, hey. But, and he texted me. I texted him the other night when all this stuff started going viral. And I said, look, I haven't thrown one slider. I haven't thrown one fastball. I haven't thrown one changeup. He took it and ran with it. People tell us things all the time, right? Yeah. And it's up to that individual to process it and say, hey, this is me. And he took it and ran with it. So credit to me.
He ran with a lot of stuff, though. And it's him. It's his big personality. It's his spirit, his generosity. This is the way he is. He's a deferential guy. So he gave you love. He gave Carl Willis a lot of love. He credited everybody that's impacted his career. I know he's not going to forget anybody in his speech this summer as well. It's going to be a good one to watch. So
he's a rare person.
For sure. I want to pivot, though, to the guys that just missed. And because the first-year eligibles next year, Harold, there's no slam dunk. There's no guy that you say, yes, he's in the first ballot. I think it's good news for Carlos Beltran, for Andruw Jones, for Chase Utley, whose campaign has grown. Alex Rodriguez, Manny, they've kind of stayed in the 30s in their vote percentages. Felix Hernandez might get some increased looks next year, too.
Yeah, I think next year's Beltran's year. I think he gets in. I think Andruw Jones as well, for all the reasons you just said. And I think Jimmy Rollins is going to climb, too. Look, if Utley's going to get this much love, you got to look at Jimmy Rollins.
For sure.
You have to. Yeah. We cannot have a Whitaker and Trammell scenario again.
Right.
Where Lou Whitaker gets left behind. So I think we're going to see that. The shocker, and maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but King Felix is moving. He's coming up. He's really the first one where let's look at new numbers. Let's look at a new way.
Right.
I mean, he won a Cy Young with 13 and 12.
Yeah.
So I think his numbers start looking at a little bit different.
It's good news for all those players in terms of the future classes.
What about the guys coming on? There's not anybody really first ballot, right?
There's no slam dunk next year.
Yeah.
There are some coming in in the years after that. There's going to be a year where Albert gets in with Yachty. I think they're both first ballot guys, et cetera. It's Buster Posey the following year. But let's move off of the Hall of Fame quickly before we say hi to Lauren, because Roki Sasaki was introduced as a Dodger yesterday. Press conference, the jersey. Fit nicely.
Dodgers do it right, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, they do.
Sure. Let's hear from him through his interpreter yesterday in Los Angeles.
Putting on this Dodgers uniform today, I'm reminded that my journey is just about to begin. And it makes me feel more focused than ever. As I transition to the major leagues, I am deeply honored that many teams reached out to me with such enthusiasm, especially considering I haven't achieved much in Japan. I spent the past month both embracing and reflecting on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to choose a place purely based on where I can grow as a player the most.
Couple of takeaways there. First of all, he said he hadn't achieved much in Japan. Most of us would beg to differ. He achieved a lot at such a young age, and he really sounds like a guy that gets it. He was asked about a variety of topics yesterday, including, the sensitivities to the fires and the devastation in the Los Angeles area. This is a guy who lost family members in a tsunami in Japan as a very young guy.
Oh, wow.
He's aware of tragedy and how it impacts the community. He's wise beyond his years. What a great signing this is for whoever would have landed him. So happens it's the Dodgers. They get another international super-duper star in weight. And the Dodgers have said they plan on rolling him out in April. There's going to be no slow build-up in terms of innings. I mean, they've got, 11 all-star starting pitchers on that staff.
Let me back that up to March, not April.
Oh, yeah, March.
He's pitching in Japan.
Right.
They go to Japan. You know how many times the Dodgers are going to go to Japan over the next 10 years of Shohei's contract? Next 9 years left. They're going to be going there a lot.
No doubt, no doubt. Did you see our guy yonder yesterday on this desk right here?
No, what did he do?
Well, he's apparently...
I want him to get into Loretta Stone.
Oh, well, he bought Loretta Stone, and he's now fluent in Japanese.
Roki, Yonder Alonso with you here. Bear with me, okay? I want to say konnichiwa, konbanwa, MLB yokuso. Welcome to MLB. Good evening.
That was good.
That was pretty good.
That's killing the game.
No, it's not killing the game. He's growing the game.
That's good, man.
He figured out how to speak Japanese with a Cuban accent. I thought that was awesome.
For anyone who tries. That's
for
difficult
sure.
On national TV.
Yes. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning. Don't sleep on the sweater.
Good morning.
Good morning. We have a Hall of Fame press conference coming up at noon Eastern. I know how much you love
Hosted by you.
I can't wait for it. Roki Sasaki in full LA mode. You see the memes going around on social media. So he's taking in the sights and the sounds. He's living the LA life.
Oh, Roy.
Yes. Making the LA sign, right? Plays with the Lakers, born in Japan, Rui Hachimura. And then while you're there, what do you got to do? You got to see the guy. You got to see LeBron, no big deal. Watch
Careful.
his face.
Those are the seats where Larry David tripped Shaq.
You be kind. Watch his face after he leaves. He's in awe. That's the part of signing with
He's
LA,
got to
right?
be tripping.
Right?
LeBron James.
He's got to be tripping.
The glitz and the glam. So he will be part of an insane rotation. We've seen the numbers side by side, but have you seen their dance moves? Because
they're all depressing.
No, that's almost vulgar.
Everyone's on the internet these days.
Come on, man.
The Dodger rotation.
This is a family show.
What does their bullpen look
Look
like?
at the Kershaw.
Bullpen?
Oh,
What
my
does it
God.
look like?
Who posted this?
Oh,
This
my
is fabulous.
gosh, it's so good. And if you're wondering where they learned their moves, it's from our own talent pool. Because I didn't know you had it like that, John.
Hey, man.
Wait, I'm told there's breaking news.
There is breaking news.
Oh, yeah?
I'm getting word in my ear. Breaking news. Oh, my gosh, they're at it again. The Dodgers have signed everybody.
It's getting insane.
Shaking hands, writing contracts, paying big dollars. And this just in, Harold, Satchel Paige has been signed by the Dodgers posthumously. He will be part of a very good rotation at Dodger Stadium next year. We don't even know where to slot him. We've got him as the 12th starter because he's not alive. However,
when you said that yesterday, pending a physical.
yeah, pending a heavenly physical. Contact the show, will you? Please tell us if
Gosh, we do this all just to amuse ourselves.
they're signing everybody. It's unbelievable.
Oh, shucks.
Still to come, Carl Willis, LSU head coach Jay Johnson, Jason Kendall, and after a break, Kenny Lofton, who we visited with a couple of weeks ago regarding some of the work he's doing to aid fire victims in Los Angeles. Something different with Kenny this time around.
A little baseball, maybe?
A very cool project that he's involved in.
Can Kenny do that, though? Kenny?
Positive.
That would have been no big deal 20 years ago.
こちらの素晴らしいニュースを振り返ると、MLB の歴史がまた新たなページを迎えたことを実感せずにはいられません。イチロー、鈴木、C、サバシア、ビリー、ワグナーの殿堂入りは、まさに野球界にとって記念すべき瞬間でした。そして、彼らの偉業が称えられることは、野球というスポーツが持つ深い歴史と情熱を改めて思い出させてくれます。まず、イチローの偉業について語らずにはいられません。彼は単なる野球選手ではなく、日本と MLB をつなぐ架け橋となった存在です。2001年にマリナーズでデビューし、驚異的な打撃センスと守備力で、イチロー、マジックを生み出しました。そして、今回の殿堂入りにより、日本人初の公式な MLB 殿堂入り選手となりました。これは彼自身だけでなく、日本の野球ファンにとっても大きな誇りです。MLB の歴史を変えた男、と言っても過言ではないでしょう。そして、サバシアの殿堂入りもまた特別なストーリーを持っています。彼は単なる優れた投手ではなく、強いリーダーシップを持ち、チームのために全力を尽くす選手でした。2008年のブルワーズでの奮闘、そしてヤンキースでの活躍は、多くのファンの記憶に深く刻まれています。しかし、何よりも感動的だったのは、彼が引退を考えていた時に受けた一本の電話。その励ましが彼を奮い立たせ、結果的に3000奪三振、250勝を達成し、見事に野球殿堂入りを果たしました。これはまさに、最後まで諦めない精神の象徴です。さらに、ビリー・ワグナーのストーリーも感動的でした。彼の投球スタイル、圧倒的な奪三振率、そして試合を締めるクローザーとしての存在感は、MLB 史上屈指のものです。しかし、最も印象的だったのは彼の家族を大切にする姿勢でした。まだ力が十分にある状態で引退し、家族と過ごす時間を優先した彼の決断は、多くの人々に感動を与えました。これこそ真のレジェンドにふさわしい生き方ではないでしょうか。一方で、殿堂入りを惜しくも逃したカルロス、ベルトラン、アンドリュー、ジョーンズ、チェイス、アトリーなどの選手たちにも今後のチャンスがあることは間違いありません。特にベルトランとジョーンズに関しては、来年の投票での殿堂入りが期待されています。彼らの素晴らしいキャリアがしっかりと評価される日が来るのを楽しみにしています。そして新たに MLB の歴史に名を刻む選手として佐々木朗まれのドジャース加入も見逃せません。若き才能がメジャーリーグでどのように成長し活躍していくのか、今からワクワクが止まりません。特に開幕戦で日本に戻りマリナーズと対戦するという展開は彼にとって特別なものとなるでしょう。彼の真摯な姿勢、そしてプレッシャーの中でも冷静に対応する姿勢はまさに次世代の MLB スターそのものです。さらにドジャースの補強はまさに豪華絢爛。すでに大谷翔平、山本由伸、そして佐々木朗まれという超豪華メンバーが揃い、まさにワールドシリーズを得るためのチームが完成しました。このメンバーでどんなシーズンが繰り広げられるのか、今から楽しみで仕方ありません。ドジャースは今後さらに世界中のファンを魅了すること間違いなし。そして最後に、この歴史的な瞬間を一緒に楽しんでいる皆さん、ぜひチャンネル登録を忘れずに。ここでは MLB の最新ニュース、レジェンドたちの偉業、そして注目の選手の動向をどこよりも詳しくお届けしていきます。あなたの意見もコメントでどんどん聞かせてください。今後も一緒に MLB の歴史を追いかけましょう。さあ、2025年の MLB シーズンが始まるぞ。